You are listening to Torah Treasures, a messianic perspective on the weekly Torah portion, featuring Rabbi Jason Sobel.
This week's Torah portion is Parashat Vayechi. What spiritual lesson can we learn from the fact that Jacob made Joseph swear not to bury him in the land of Egypt? Jacob made Joseph take an oath that he would bury him in the land of Israel. The primary reason for this is that he wanted to be buried in the eternal home of the Jewish people, the land God promised to him and his forefathers. In addition, Egypt ultimately becomes a place of exile and suffering for the Jewish people. For Jacob's body to be left in Egypt is tantamount to living in a permanent state of exile. This was completely antithetical to his faith that God would fulfill his promise and lead the Jewish people to the land of Israel. Like Jacob, we must remember that our true home is never in Egypt or any place of exile. No matter how much we materially and spiritually prosper, we are not truly home. Ultimately, we cannot fulfill our destiny as long as we are guests in someone else's house. Therefore, we must cry out to God and pray, "Take us forth from the land of Egypt." All the great men and women of faith understood this universal spiritual message. They knew that this world in its current state is not our home. This point is underscored by the book of Hebrews. All these people were still living by faith when they died. They did not receive the things promised. They only saw them and welcomed them from a distance. And they admitted that they were aliens and strangers on earth. People who say such things show that they are looking for a country of their own. If they had been thinking of the country they had left, they would have had the opportunity to return. Instead, they were longing for a better country, a heavenly one. Therefore, God is not ashamed to be called their God, for he has prepared a city for them. Hebrews chapter 11, verses 13 through 15. We must not long for or lust after the things of this world. We must never allow ourselves to get too comfortable, no matter how pleasant things are for us in galut, exile. We must wake up from our slumber and consider from where we come and to where we are ultimately going. To help us remember from where we come and for what we are destined, God gave us the Shabbat, the Sabbath. 6 days a week, we toil with the material and are immersed in exile. But 1 day a week, on the Shabbat, we cease from our labor and focus on spirituality and community. By so doing, Shabbat becomes a taste of the world to come and a reprieve from exile. By keeping the Shabbat, our awareness of things eternal increases as we long for Yom Shekulo Shabbat, the time that is all Shabbat, which are the days of the Messiah. When we fail to honor the Shabbat, we demonstrate that we are still slaves in Egyptian exile who have not yet been released. Like Jacob, who made Joseph swear to take his body out of Egypt, let us realize that we are not yet home and cry out to the Almighty, "Take us forth from the land of Egypt. We want Mashiach Yeshua now."